What's up, guys? Mediocre PC Gaming here, and today I'm going to be doing a little bit of Diablo gameplay, but that's not the point of this video. The point of this video is I want to talk about I guess not the changes to the terms of service, but the recent, exposure of a rule on YouTube that's basically about monetization and what your content is about, and if that'll certify it for monetization or not. And by now, I'm sure everyone's heard about it, where basically the policy is that if you talk about any kind of dark subject like rape or murder or child porn or probably even porn in general, then YouTube is gonna send out a message to advertisers and say, are you comfortable with your ad on, I don't know, child's toys, I don't know, something like that. Doesn't really matter. They'll send it out to any advertiser that wants to advertise on YouTube videos, and it'll say, are you okay with your video being like associated or on a video that's about like rape or something. And most advertisers will say no to this, but I just wanted to give my opinion on it because I've heard a lot of people talking about it, but mostly big YouTubers, people that actually have more than 10 subs, and for the most part they're against it in a sense because it stifles freedom of speech in a way. It punishes you for talking about darker topics that definitely need to be talked about. But in most cases, the YouTubers have said that they'll be alright because their content normally isn't focused towards that and they have other ways to make money. Where I'm at the opposite end of the spectrum, where I don't even actually make money from any of this. So I really wouldn't be affected by this either. But it's the people that are in the middle, kind of just starting out, that would mostly be affected by this, and whose channels are news channels or channels that talk about darker topics that definitely do need to be discussed. Which is why I definitely think YouTube has said that they've done this in the past, but it's just now basically being stated, which I think in the first place it should have been clearly stated. It shouldn't have been anything kind of going on in the background, but it seems like they're really enforcing it now, because what I've heard is that nothing has changed, but it definitely seems like something has changed because a lot of big YouTubers are suddenly having their videos taken down, or not taken down, but demonetized. So something must have changed recently. But regardless, YouTube, obviously they have, I guess, the right to do this. They own this site. They can say what goes on it and what doesn't. But it's very anti-consumer, or anti-user more so. I just really don't think it's a good thing for them to do, because you're definitely gonna, if this stays in place, it's going to completely wipe some channels off of YouTube, or at least with the content they currently make. And then other channels will definitely be leaving just out of, out of rage at this new policy, because it's not something I like. It doesn't affect me in any way. Well, it doesn't affect my channel, but I still don't support it in any way. So I don't think this is even really this is a big deal, but I don't think this is really the biggest of deals. But YouTube, between the creators of YouTube and then the creators of videos and content on YouTube, there's kind of been a disparity going on for a really long time. Everyone's kind of in a state where they feel like YouTube has just been getting kind of worse and worse, and for some reason the creators of YouTube just continue to do things that are very anti-user friendly. Anti-user friendly, is that right? I think it's right. So not even just on this topic, but I think YouTube just doesn't need to be doing things like this, especially at a time like this when people are already kind of up in arms against them. H3 did 2 videos pretty much on this. One where he was thanking YouTube, and then one where he takes his thanks back shortly after this happens. And I mean, that's kind of how I feel about YouTube sometimes. Like, I don't mind them doing UI changes or whatever. I mean, maybe it makes the site uglier, it doesn't function as well, but you know, you can still use the site. It doesn't break the site. This is almost site breaking in my opinion, and it's just it's really making the users upset. And like most people have said, I really believe that if another video hosting website gets the formula right and actually treats their users how they want to be treated, then YouTube could potentially die, or at least become like a MySpace. I guess MySpace isn't dead, but no one really uses it. But I just want to speak out against this, or more so about it, coming from the standpoint of like an incredibly small channel just done for fun. I don't really reach many people, but if anyone does see this, you know that I don't make a living for this, and I'm not really trying to at all. But regardless, it could affect other content creators that I watch, and that's why it angers me. And even if it didn't, it's just the thing is, I don't want to say it's a bad policy to have, because I understand them having it, but if it was put on a scale, I'd rather them not have this policy than have it. I think it's more for worse than for better. But I understand where YouTube is coming from, and you can look at it at the point of the content creators where they're basically just being stifled. They're being punished financially, put it that way, for talking about topics that need to be talked about. Or you can look at it from the advertiser standpoint, where if they don't really know how YouTube or the people that use YouTube think, then they might think, oh, okay, well, I'm running an ad on a video that's about rape. People are going to think that Toys for Tots or something like that is about rape, which isn't necessarily true, at least not for me. I can't speak for anyone else, but I personally, an ad is an ad, that's it. I don't associate it with the video that it's on. And then you can think about it from YouTube's standpoint, where for them it's really pretty much just about the money. They're trying to get the big advertising companies that television has, because YouTube's in a state where they're trying to compete with television. I think that's where a lot of the recent problems have come from. It's just them trying to compete with television and kind of trying to become a family-friendly website. I'm not going to ramble about this too long though. I just want to make a little video about it, and also to show that I am not dead, just haven't had a lot of time to make videos. That doesn't mean that I've been super busy. I've just been procrastinating on what I need to do, and so I'd feel bad about coming in here and playing video games and making a video when I need to write some short paper or something. But that's pretty much all I want to say. I'm actually playing Death Road to Canada a little bit more. I think I want to get a feel for the game and just figure out how the game plays and all that, and kind of become more proficient with it, because at the moment I really don't know what I'm doing at all. I know how the controls work and kind of how to survive, but you know, like, I don't know the consequences of everything. So trying to get more comfortable with that game, and then I might start doing more content for it. I just wasn't having a whole lot of fun doing a kind of let's play where I learn the game and putting that up. So that's most likely what I'll be doing. Still having some Diablo, might be working on another PPE like I've said, but that'll be for another video. Alright guys, well actually, okay, I'll die, that's fine. I was gonna say I'm gonna finish this rift, but okay, this is fine. But yeah, I'm done talking for now at least. You can still hear those mouse clicks though, because I didn't turn off my mic. Alright guys, for real though. Peace out.